So with our button placket that's lined up here in the 2D window, it's lined up really under the um, color stand, the edge of the color stand. We can try to find a midpoint here where we can do some coordinates and get the midpoint where we can place the button. Because remember, we want to place the button also along um, this section here. Okay, so remember we need the midpoint, the mid part of this. So we can just get to the add point split tool and we can just uniform split, and we uniform split. Okay, it's there. It was okay removed. Let's now, with the select move tool, we're going to just place it again here. Okay, and yes, we're trying to just get a point here, somewhere here, that we could, where we can draw a line, and the midpoint of that line becomes the um the position of the first of the button of the color stand. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our pen tool here on this point. What we're going to do is we click on it, hold down shift. We're trying to get the midpoint. Okay, so if you notice, there is this line here, this pink line that's going, or the red line that's going up, 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 and this is sending us to, it's helping us when we hold on shift to draw a straight line. Now the light blue highlighted line at the edge, it's like a reference line, so don't bother too much about that. Let's pull it down here, you can see. Now I'm going to double click, and when I double click here, I have my point and my internal line. Okay, it's not good. Okay, my point and my internal line. And this point here, it's just a reference point. We can delete it easily like this. Delete the point. Okay, let's delete it again. Okay, good. Now, so here this is a line. We can internal line. And if we can prove that this part here, it's always 2 and 2. So we go to our edit pattern tool and we click on it, and here's 2 and 2. Okay, so it's always divided in half. All we needed was some sort of a reference point that was more precise here to connect this. Another way to prove that this is a good point here is by just selecting the select move tool, clicking on this pattern piece, the placket pattern piece, and if you notice the guidelines that come up, you see where it intersects here right through this point. So far so good. We've gotten the precise area we need, the exact area we needed to put our point. Now remember, of course, you remember when you click on the pattern piece, these are the guidelines that do help you to enlarge the pattern, turn the pattern piece, and all that. So they also help, of course, with positioning, at least checking the position. So that's that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to have to add a point now here in the middle. And when we add a point here, that's going to be where we're going to be putting our button. So we're going to right click and uniform split. Okay. And here we have the point. And this is where we're going to place our button right here. So now we can just select the button icon and check in the 3D window. You see the arrow right here in the middle. We place our button. So here it is. Okay. So because we want things to line up. Now we have to place the other buttons and for example, from this button, you may have to calculate because it depends on how, for example, if I want to place my buttons, for example, 7 centimeters apart, I can sort of a double check here. I'm going to go to the edit pattern tool and I want to know the the measurement from here to here. Okay, because remember the button is here in the middle. So don't be too confused. I know it's a lot. Okay, half and half, but the button is placed right here. So this is the point from which we have to measure. So let's click on this, and here it's 1.14. Okay, and remember, if we click on the other one here, the other part here, it's 1.14 because we've divided this line in half. So now we 1.14, and we said we want the next button placement to be on the others 7 centimeters apart. So that 1.14, what we have to do is we have to subtract it from 7. And we end up with 5.86. So here, the first button should be 5.86 centimeters from this point here. Okay, so I'll show you how we can do this. So with the add point selected, we said we needed here 5.86. We right click and the dialog box comes up. Here the line we need 5.86, 5 point. So we right click and we need 5.86, 5.86, and we click OK. We need it on this side too. We right click 5.86 and we click OK. So here, what we want to do now is we want to just connect a line, draw a line here. So we're going to use our pen tool. So line that connects from here to here. And then we need, this is going to be 2. So we need the add point again. We're going to get the middle, right click, uniform split. And all this for to get the center and to get this 7 centimeters. Okay, all this. So we now from here on it's easier because the first button placement then has to be here. I could have opted for less centimeters, but 7, okay, because it's a bit far away from here. But okay, 7 centimeters, and the first button placement has to be here. So now if we check, for example, the 5.86 and the 1.14, you do an addition and you get to 7. Okay, 7 centimeters. So now here, let's just check now in the 3D window because we're going to do some button placement here. Remember what happens here happens on, well, there's a symmetry on it. Okay, so um, click on the button icon. And then what you do is you At this point, what you do is you right click and the dialog box comes up. So here we'll move it out of the way because we want to check certain things. So these values with the position, they only have to do with the position of the buttons. For example, the buttons can be shifted to the left, to the right, and it shows you the values that you can use to shift them. So this, we're not going to concern ourselves with this right now. What we're going to do is we need to concern ourselves with the number of buttons and the interval. Now the angle here has to be a -90 in order for the line of buttons to go vertically. If you put other values, for example, 9 horizontally, if you put 0, they go diagonally. So this is the angle, and this value you leave like it is, but you can experiment with it. Please do. Now the interval, as I said, the interval, I want the intervals between buttons, the spacement, the placement and the space. So it's going to be 7 centimeters. So here I'm going to put 7. And then here I'm going to see the number of buttons. Now remember, when you're placing the first button in the 3D window, you see the blue dot. Okay, that's normal because then when you click on OK, this becomes the button. So here's let's see how many buttons we like to put. I would say okay, that's enough. We click on OK, and here we have our buttons. So here we have the buttons placed, and the buttons, remember, they go here on the right placket here. Okay, the right placket. Now, what we need to do is we need to copy. We go home here, and we can use the select tool. We select this, and I'm gonna bring it back here. Okay, right close here to the other placket. Because what we need now to do is we need buttonholes. Now, we really don't, there's no more use for this guideline, so we can delete it. So we go to our edit pattern and we can just delete it. Okay, we don't even need the points because now they just helped us out a bit. So we can click on one point, hold down shift, click on the other, right click and delete. So now, as we were saying, we need this buttonholes that correspond to this. Now, you can always do these operations manually. But here, when you're dealing with a row of buttons, it's easier to do it this way. So with the button tool selected, you click on one button, you highlight it, and then you press Control A, and Control A selects all the buttons. Then what you do on any button that's highlighted, right click, and here in the dialog box, duplicate as buttonhole to symmetric pattern. So all of these buttons are going to be duplicated, but not as buttons, as buttonholes. So you click on that, and here on the symmetric pattern, you get buttonholes. And you also have a buttonhole for the color stand, okay, the opposite side. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fasten these buttons. So you click on fasten button and you begin. Okay, you click once and you go here and you click again. You click again here and you click again. So we are fastening the buttons. Okay, so when they're all fastened, even the one for the color stand, we do. Then you can start simulating. Okay, so now you start simulating, you pull, you tug a little bit to see that everything's in place and everything seems to be in place. Okay, yes. So here we have this, we've buttoned the shirt. So now it's time to put the color on to the color stand. And here we have to, what we can do. Okay, so there is a symmetry on this color stand. So we have to remember that. And we have to measure between these 2 points because remember the color, if you remember, it sits here, okay? It sits more here, okay? And then it goes over like that. So just you can just take a look at that image one more time. So we need to understand the measurement. Sometimes maybe these we'll see if this is good enough because sometimes we may have to bring the point near the edge, but we'll see. So here with the edit pattern tool selected, we need to find out the measurements of this in order to draw out the color pattern, the width of the color. Okay, so this is 18.34, and then this is also 18.34. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to do 18.34 by 2, and we have 36.68. So we go to our rectangular tool here and we click here with the width 36.68. Now let's see the height. What remember we can preview this in the 2D window. Well, the height, let's see about 15 or 10. No, 151. No, of course not. 15. Okay, let's say 15. Okay. We're going to click OK and see, and we can always adjust accordingly. So now in the 3D window, with our select move tool selected, we're going to place this color piece here behind. Let's make sure that it's on the wrong, on the sides that it's supposed to. So we have to sew this edge to this edge. Then here I'm going to select my MN, the free sewing tool, but specifically the MN free sewing tool. And I'm going to just click here, left click, you go around here, one click, press enter. And then here, be precise when you sew this dot here, you go click one because there are two, and then I'll click again and you go along. You do 2 clicks there and then you one click here at the end, press enter. When you press enter, you see the sewing relationship. It's there and it's fine, and you simulate. So when you simulate, this is what you get, the color. Now remember the color is all buttoned up, so we can unbutton the first button, okay? to have it relax a bit better. Okay. So what we're gonna do is, obviously this is very it's bad and we have to adjust it. But let's unbutton this first. Then right click. Mm. And we left click and we unfastened it button. So here we can just open it like this. So it's opened like that to the at the top. And here we have to now fix this here, the color. So here it's going to be shorter. So we go to our home tool, edit pattern. And here we can just hold on shift and bring it down a bit, following the guideline. Okay, let's simulate, see how that looks already. Um, okay, do like this. Remember, we can lower the particle distance, okay, so that we can eliminate some of these rough edges here. So that's what we're going to do right away. We select it, and here the particle distance, we can lower that to 10. We simulate again. Okay, much better now. Okay, much smoother. And we can even go down to 5 to get it really perfect. So here with the color, we want it to lay nicely. So if you're not really pleased, we can do some adjustments. But in order to do adjustments, we need symmetry. So for example, if you tweak this one part here, let's say we tweak this here, okay, with the edit pattern tool, and we go here, it's, yes, you can right click and you can write in the amounts and, you know, the moving distance as I had shown you in the previous videos. But if you want things easier, what we can do is this. We get the midpoint of this. So we're going to go up to the add point tool, catch the midpoint of this, right click, and a uniform split into two, and here uniform split again into two. And with this uniformly split, we have to, we can draw a line here with the pen tool, that is, okay, pen tool, okay. And now this line here, okay, we're going to be creating symmetry. So let's get it again here, and we're going to do like that. The edit pattern tool selected, we can edit here and we can convert it to the symmetry axis. So we've converted it to a symmetry axis because we want symmetry on the ends of this pattern piece. Okay, so it's divided in two. Whatever I do on this side is going to reflect here too. So now we can begin with the edit pattern tool selected. We can begin here at these points. So in your 3D window, you then try to understand, okay, well, it's not this piece here, it's going to be here. So I'm going to undo that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the whole pattern piece, and I want it turned because I was disoriented there for a while. So I prefer to turn it this way so that I understand better which points are which. So it's here, okay? So then if I do like this, you see, now we're talking. You can do it the opposite way too. Once you understand what you're doing, it's good. So these look more normal, the way it should be. You can even bring it in a little bit here, closer here, or you can a little further out. You can put these points. And I think like this, it's better. Like even this, maybe it's more normal. So, because then when you button it up, now here, go here at the back. So we have this little peak that we really don't want. And what we're going to do is we're going to, with the edit pattern tool always selected, we can convert it to a curve point. Okay, so there it's a curve point, and that looks much better when we simulate and we tug at this. Okay, so here we have our, basically we've done the shirt. And there are other things to do, other styling we can do on this shirt. But for now, we're going to stop here. And at the end of the video, I'm going to just add a pattern to the shirt. Okay, just simply add a pattern, show you how to just, yeah, add. So this is a seamless pattern I brought in, and we can add it to the shirt. Let's just put it, wait, let's put it everywhere. Okay, we do like this, and here a seamless pattern. Now, okay, like that. Now, if you want a break in the colors, we can just add a fabric here, and let's add some different colors. For example, let's see. As soon as the color comes up, we can go black. Okay, here, and we can add this black to the button plackets. Okay, so here we've added black to the button plackets, and or we could just change the color. We could add, of course, black to the color itself, to both color pieces. So then it's like it's maybe looks better. You can even change it up and add. You can switch to another color here. You can move this out of the way and cycle through the colors to see which one you prefer. Green, dark green, like that. Or maybe we could just stick here these shades of red, like that. Could be okay. And then, so that's basically it. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.